So I am Allison Luderman, and I am one of the members of the membership committee. And you are here for a program that we have put together called UUCD 101, a primer for newcomers, new members, and you. We decided to do this because every year we have a welcome new member ceremony, and this year it will be on May 3rd. And we wanted to put together a program that would be educational for our new congregants who'd like to know a little bit more about how we do UUism at UUCD. But then we realized that there might be folks who are newer members or longtime congregants who really actually may not understand what the nuts and bolts that happen at UUCD that make all of the other programming possible. So that's what we're going to do today. And so these are very quick hits. We called it a primer because we wanted you to see the skeleton, not necessarily all the fat and flesh. So first up is our minister, Amy Brooks, who's going to give you a brief synopsis about her ministerial philosophy.
Good morning, everyone. I have been tasked with providing my ministerial philosophy, which is some deep stuff for first thing in the morning. So I'll begin in case there's anyone who doesn't know me. I am Amy GSA Brooks. I serve this congregation as the minister. As a brief visual introduction, I'm a short, fat white woman with short hair, wearing a black jumpsuit and a red and green striped cardigan, and a black face mask to accommodate my physical needs and as a spiritual practice. So as the minister, there are a couple misconceptions about me, typically from other traditions, more so from people who are familiar with Unitarian Universalism. One is that I am the boss of everything. And so I would like to address right away the rumor that I'm the boss of everything and put that one to bed. All UU congregations are led by the Board of Trustees. All UU congregations are self-led. So if you're talking about who is the boss of everything, then you need to talk to all of our members of our congregation, because together we do decision making together. And that really feeds into my ministerial philosophy, which is that all of our work together is collaborative. If you have seen any of the flow charts of our organization that have been going around in the last year, you'll have a sense of just how many groups we have in our congregation. And part of the work that I do is work to support the work of all of those many groups. So I work with the Board of Trustees on governance, and I work with all of the groups in the congregation, uplifting the work that they are doing, advising them when asked, and connecting them with resources when they are available. My ministerial philosophy is that we are in this together. We are in this together. And that means we are in this in the times where it's a bit of a struggle, and we are in it in the times that are full of joy and wonder and exploration. So I work with my fellow staff as well in uplifting that. One of my projects that is close to my heart is our multi-generational Sundays, and that requires close work with the DRE and our music director to pull together something a little bit special for that one Sunday a month when we have the kids stay with us in the sanctuary. So those are just a few examples of my work here. Probably the most visible that you see is on a Sunday morning when I stand up and say things. Sometimes the things I say are smart things, and sometimes the things I say are just regular things, and other people think they're smarter than they are. I do my best in terms of preparing for what I want to say on a Sunday, but that is, while it takes up a lot of time, to prepare to speak on a Sunday morning. The larger part of my work is that working collegially with staff and working collaboratively with the congregants. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. And next up on our agenda, we're going to be hearing from Blanche Ebert, who is currently president of the board, and she's going to be talking to you about the board and how it functions, and also about the program council. And I know some of our long-term congregants might be interested in what's happening with the program council, because there's been a revamping.
Thank you, Allison. Good morning. I'm going to pass out a few handouts, 2 different sets here. Please feel free to pass on the handouts if you'd like. Yep, both of them. Yep. It's nice to be with you all this morning. Before I go through the things that are on the sheet of paper, I'd like to talk a little bit about how a board of trustees at a faith-based organization is different than a board at a business or even a board at a nonprofit. I really see our work as trustees.
Can you put the microphone a little closer to your face, please?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's totally different. I really see board service as a spiritual practice. And when we start our board meetings, we light a chalice. Claudia Faith, one of our trustees, always composes some heartfelt words that center us. They're my favorite part of the whole board meeting. One of the things I brought this morning was a prop. Anybody know what this is?
No.
Okay. I would be amazed if anybody did. This is the piece of our roof. This was given to me as a souvenir because I was involved and asked to be part of a group that went up to inspect our green roof, which is part of our green sanctuary and is quite unique to our faith community and requires some special care. And I brought it today because as a trustee in a faith-based organization, you get involved in a unique way in problem solving, in goal setting, in strategic planning, in working together with all of the volunteers that are part of our community in a really wonderful way. So I don't think the roof was harmed by this piece of art relic, and thank you to Barb Monty for that. The other thing that's a little bit different about being a trustee at a faith-based organization is we have many connections. So I may teach RE and work with Troy Abfalter's kids. Sarah Monahan and I may work together in the kitchen. Amy may be providing pastoral care or even end-of-life, celebration of life services to someone in my family. And so all of us have deep connections that are unique, I think, to a board of a faith-based organization. So that being said, some of the things that are in the handout there, we have a board of trustees that are either 7 or 9 members. They're elected annually for a 3-year term. They can renew their service one time. They are responsible, the Board of Trustees are responsible for the administration, the business affairs, and the general charge of our property. We have general oversight over the councils and committees, although the program council, which I'll talk about in a minute, has more to do with that. The president or co-presidents, depending on the configuration of the board, are elected by the membership annually in June. Currently, we have a 7-member board, and we have a treasurer and a secretary that are appointed, and their term is open, and that's worked quite well for us. The treasurer also works very closely with the finance council, so we have a lot of oversight and input into our financial situation. That's a huge benefit to the board. The vice president of the board is elected by the board, and Kathleen Culhane is currently that person. So that's kind of the administrative piece, and then that's one hand, and then on the other hand is program council. Program council is a part of our bylaws. We must have a program council, and historically those folks have facilitated and coordinated the work of all the committees and volunteers in our church. We are changing that a little bit to be part of 7 functional groups. So there's a representative of program council from 7 functional groups, and there's a handout there that shows each of the functional groups and then which committees are under those. And I want to shout out to Russ Matson, former leader of the program council, who was instrumental in leading that reorganization. For a 200-member church, we have about 32 or more committees. So that just shows the tremendous participation and commitment that we have here. And so the program council now is organized in those 7 groupings for efficiency. It's also going to be led, we hope, by a lay leader and the vice president of the board, and there'll be a bylaws change required for that we'll vote on in June. The program council collaborates with the board, and you can each program council representative has a trustee liaison on the board who's a partner. The program council meets quarterly. They support the recruitment, retention, and recognition of volunteers in addition to problem solving and supporting all of the work of committees that are here in our organization. So you can kind of see, I think there's a handout there that has the names of the PC reps and the board liaison. We still have an opening in finance if anybody's interested in that. And thank you to the board liaisons and the program council representatives for the work that you do. And that's it in kind of a nutshell. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Blanche. By the way, you should all know that they did a lot of work. It took a lot of work to go through what the program council has been, what it was designed to do, and to try and remake it so it better serves our entire congregation. So big hand to all the people who worked on that, because that was a lot of work. That was like herding cats. 301.
No, it's not.
Our next speaker is Charlie Moore. Charlie is with our finance council. I know you all think boring subject, but it's not, and Charlie will make it even more interesting.
When I first heard the term finance council, I thought that this was this great, august, all-knowing body.
Would it be okay to step back just a little bit?
Which of course we're not. But the word council does underlie our purpose, and that is to advise the board about finance aspects of the church. Currently, there are 6 of us that are members of the Finance Council, 4 of which have some sort of accounting backgrounds, and 2 of us do not. I want to underscore that while it is important to have these people that have an accounting basis, it is not a necessity. In fact, not having that basis sometimes asks us more naive questions that other people might have. Now, what exactly do we do? This time of year, we're preparing the budget. And the budget is based on our past experience over the last few years, and also a guess as to what's going to happen. And we prepare the budget, give it to the board, and then it's passed on to the congregation at the annual meeting to be approved. That budget provides a template that we use to follow through the year to see how we're doing. And sometimes that works smoothly, and sometimes it doesn't. For example, this past year, come December, we realized we didn't have enough money. So we notified the board, we advised the board, and the board decided to have an additional fundraising event. And we raised $40,000+, which put us back in good fiscal shape. So thanks to the generosity of the congregation. While we're talking about that aspect, I want to segue a little bit to the pledge drive. The pledge kickoff is this Sunday, and I would like to share the Finance Council's perspective on it. It's been my observation that most of us give the same pledge year to year. People do change, but a significant percentage of people keep our pledges the same. Now, as in your households and my household, the church expenses do change. They go up. I mean, it's just more expensive now to fund things. So when you all are thinking about your pledges this year, I would ask you to take that into consideration. One of the big hiccups in the budget is maintenance and repairs of the building. The building is approaching 2 decades of being, and things wear out and need to be replaced or repaired. Things like furnaces and perhaps the stove in the kitchen, and what Blanche mentioned, the roof. These are not small items, and so trying to plan for that is difficult. Other than following the budget, one of our other functions is to serve as the first place for people to go if they have an idea, a new idea that will be either a good income source or an expense. And while we don't decide, the Finance Council doesn't decide whether or not that should be done, we do assess how economically that fits in with the rest of the budget. We have, like I said, we have 6 members currently. We could use a couple more for fresh ideas, and so this is sort of a pitch to have anyone who might be interested in coming to the Finance Council for a few meetings and see how we operate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlie.
Hi, this is Sarah Monahan for people online who can't see me on screen. Thank you so much, Charlie, and thank you for your involvement in Finance Council. And I just wanted to point out that as we're talking about budgets and our building and building maintenance, that Finance Council really has stewarded the finances of this congregation through the acquisition of this land and the building of this building. And this building that we're in, yes, it has maintenance needs, but it's paid for. It's ours. This congregation has paid free and clear on the mortgage of this building, which is just an incredible achievement. And it took many pledges, and it took a capital campaign and consistent efforts to manage the budget of this congregation to get as far as we have. So we have a lot of success behind us. So thank you.
Thank you for that, Sarah. I'll just say one thing more about pledging, because I've been around a long time and I've seen how this congregation builds its budget. And pledging the money you plan on giving really helps in the process of building a budget. It's sort of like knowing what your salary is going to be this year. So if you're one of those people or member who prefer to put your cash in the basket on any given Sunday, think this year about how much do I give in cash in the basket every year, and go ahead and continue to put that cash in the basket, but at least fill out a pledge so the finance council and the board will know how much cash is coming out of your pocket into our basket. So fill out those pledge forms. It helps a lot. All right, next. I don't see Kathy Stennett yet. She's our administrator, but she's in choir. So I'll tell you what, our fabulous Kate Allworth is here, and she is our director of religious education. And so we're going to call her up next.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Nice to see such a great turnout today. Wow. I am Kate Allworth, the Director of Religious Exploration / Education, whichever acronym you prefer. We like exploration because that's kind of the goal of our job, is that you're exploring religion and morality and all the questions of life with children and ideally youth, which is something else we're working on. For RE, we have my motto has always been, and this quote is in the table on the narthex. If you ever want to know what's going on in RE, there is an RE table in the narthex on the right of the congregation, of the sanctuary, sorry. And there's a bulletin board on what theme we're exploring, and talks about the principles that we follow, the values that we're teaching. Really good stuff and information there. So for RE, I've always had this quote that's actually sitting there now, of Margaret Mead's, that is, children need to be taught how to think, not what to think. And I try to keep that in mind whenever I'm doing anything for RE, for our children and our youth. It's an interesting, fun group of children. We get to learn a lot of different perspectives. So that part's been really, really rewarding. RE is, we have teachers who are only volunteers. So we require 2 teachers who are unrelated, part of our Safer Congregations work. At every class, there are always 2 teachers. So we have a lead teacher and an assistant. The lead teacher puts together the lesson plan, or I do, but whoever's got time that week, and finds the supplies and stuff for the crafts or activities. They are able to sign up when they can be there. There's no restrictions on you need to do every 3rd Sunday of the month. So if anybody's interested in volunteering, I'm always looking for additions to our work in our RE. One of the other things we do is, of course, I work collaboratively with Amy, as she mentioned, with the multi-generational services. That has been a real joy this year. We've had way too much fun putting those together, and I appreciate everyone in the congregation who participates and plays with us, including those wonderful discussions. It's been really fun hearing people's ideas on those. We have a 1-room schoolhouse right now for RE, so we don't have as many children as we'd like. So if you have any, you just grab on the way over, that'd be great. Anybody's welcome anytime. We have an open enrollment. There is a registration form on our website, but we welcome anybody who's visiting, passing by, staying with grandma and grandpa for the weekend. We'd be happy to see any kids you've got. And it's K through 5th, but we've been able to fudge a little just to make sure everybody has a chance to participate. There's an activity table in our sanctuary that I provide thematic activities for that go with whatever the theme is of the month. And the kids have really been enjoying that as well. Other things that fall under RE, besides the stories for all ages, which is one of my joys. We have the OWL program, Our Whole Lives, which is a sexuality education program for youth. If you want any more information about that, let me know. And we do the collaborative summer camp also with the other progressive churches in Duluth, the Pilgrim and Peace. And that camp is a day camp, and I think it's the 3rd week of June this year. We had to move it back for a conflict with the UUCD General Assembly. So in RE, we teach the principals, helping our children find some guides that might help them in their daily lives. And we're also working on hopefully getting together the religious exploration leadership team, which will hopefully, we tried this last year, we're gonna try it again next year. Trying to find more volunteers to help with more family oriented and children oriented activities and education. There's a fun little half sheet like this, that these are, I'm gonna leave some here, but they're also, I think, yellow on the RE table in the narthex. And this is a very cute little, are you wondering about our children's education program and the what, why, where, why, how about RE. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. And if you want to volunteer, please let me know. All right, thank you. I'll see you guys in worship.
Thanks, Kate. And for all of you people out there who are working and have little ones, believe it or not, it's possible to volunteer at the education of our kiddos and be a full-time working person. I know this because I did it myself. So please, any help you can give, it's a great thing. Next up is She Who Knows All, otherwise known as our congregational administrator, Kathy Stennett. So give a big hand to She Who Knows All.
Okay, well, I may be knowledgeable, but I am a person who works in offices, not standing in front of a podium with a microphone, so this is a little different for me. It has been said that Unitarian Universalism is where you go to get your answers questioned. However, the UUCD office might be one place where even UUs like to get some questions answered. So I thought I would give you a few types of the questions that we get asked in the office, and we even have answers for some of them. So, for example, from a committee, how do we purchase tools and supplies for taking care of the outdoor sanctuary, or our potluck, or whatever our committee is doing at the moment? Actually, we have lots of supplies in the office, in the workroom office itself, for people, for volunteers in the congregation to use. And these can be purchased by using a simple form that we have that you can get reimbursed for. Or from an inspector or a maintenance contractor. Where is the kitchen? Where are the sprinkler system controls? Where's the fire safety monitoring system? Frequently, a short tour of the building will help people find where they need to be. From both inside and outside the UUCD, can we reserve a room for our meeting or our fundraiser or event? This is one that takes a little more time and thought. Reserving a room for a meeting or event starts with asking me, Kathy, if the desired time and room are available, and then having a conversation about the type of event, the size, the needs, and then frequently completing the form when needed, especially if it's from outside UUCD. This is one of the more complex types of questions because we have a very, very busy building. We are booked almost solid in this building. And we do have a Google Calendar that shows most of the reservations that are already booked, so that can help out too. From a committee member, does our committee have a budget? Well, the membership of the congregation votes at the annual meeting each year on our budget for the upcoming fiscal year. If your committee submitted a request for a budget line, then we can easily look it up and let you know what the funding is for this year and how much of it has been used. We keep track. From a games night coordinator, is it okay if we play badminton in the social hall? Actually, I'm just kidding about that. I don't think I've been asked that question, but I don't see why not. But we do get questions sometimes from the nursery school or other groups concerning what types of activities are allowed in our spaces. And actually, I know quite a bit about what types of activities are allowed in our spaces, or I can send you to the person who would have the answer to that. That's a big part of my job, is to know where to find the answers that you might want to your questions. I frequently get asked for somebody's phone number and email address. We usually have those if we've been given them. We're very careful about giving them out. Sometimes visitors and newcomers don't actually even give us much information, but it does become much easier to get involved in the congregation if we have some contact information so that your interest groups can contact you. Okay. One interesting question I get is how can we get on, and this is from one of our associated charities or nonprofits in the local area here. How can we get on your list of recipients for a monthly offering? Some people don't know that we have 2 offerings every morning, Sunday mornings, and then one is called a woven basket, and it goes to the recipient of the month, which is voted on. The list is voted on at our annual meeting. And there is a nomination period. I think it's usually in May, when people can submit to the committee that is compiling that list. They can submit a charity or a nonprofit of their choice that they want to get a woven basket offering for the next year. From the nursery school, if you don't know, we have a nursery school that operates full-time during the week. We noticed there is a raccoon sleeping under the fire escape.
That's a great one.
That actually happened.
Did you take care of that personally then?
That actually happened.
Yeah.
I went and looked at the raccoon. I went and looked at it, and we had, and then several other people involved, some of our outdoor sanctuary people and other nature lovers, and they found some expert advice, and the expert advice was that raccoon is probably just getting ready to hibernate. It didn't seem to be a problem. It wasn't a problem, and it's best to leave wildlife alone when you can. So we were very good stewards of our wildlife in that case. Nothing happened, and it went away. It was in the fall. So from a kitchen volunteer or staff, who do we call to get the hot water heater repaired? So, these are just some of the variety of questions we get. Of course, we have a wonderful building maintenance coordinator that helps us out now, and he will look at it, or he will call the plumber if needed in that case. No questions are too offbeat or outlandish for the UUCD office. We love questions, And we find the search for answers sometimes creates more questions, which is great for UUs.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. That's been she who knows all, and now you know why she's she who knows all. Big hand. Thanks so much, Kathy.
Just a quick announcement too for anyone standing. There are chairs over here if anybody wants to sit down.
And now we have our fabulous music director, Karen Bauman. Give her a big hand, folks.
Hey peeps, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Right, we're here in community. We use music as a vehicle to express our UU values, to seek inspiration, to build bigger, better, brighter community, right? So yes, I'm Karen Bauman, credentialed UU musician. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Music Therapy I got from the University of Minnesota. And I gotta tell you, it's a fantastic job that I have been able to do for quite a little while now. We have numerous ways that you can help create the wonderful music here. We have the choir. Who's in the choir? Raise your hand. Oh my gosh, look at all those people. Woo! Woo! If you believe that you can sing, you can join the choir. And that's serious. I am serious about that, right? So feel free. We meet Wednesday evenings from 7 until 8, right? Is there anyone here from the band? They were here yesterday. We worked really hard rehearsing for the 19th, when the band will join with a vocal sextet to provide some pretty awesome music. So be sure to join us next Sunday. So I work with the minister to uncover the community songs, some people know them as hymns, that work best for supporting the topic on any given Sunday, right? There's also the prelude and offertory that we work real hard to, again, touch on the topic of the day and support the messaging that happens on any given Sunday. I'm open to questions now. Yes?
Tell us about those 3 years that we did.
Oh, goodness.
I
Okay.
was a part of the 3 years.
Bonnie Keeling back there was my helper from the congregation when I did 3 years of study through the UUA to gain my credentialed UU musician status. Gee, that was a lot of work.
We only met once a month, but she had done every week, had to turn in page after page after page of information.
It was
3 freaking years.
It was very much a lot. And I had Ruth Palmer from down in St. Paul, who was my mentor within the Association of Unitarian Universalist Music Ministries. So that was really something. And it was terrific, and I've used that knowledge all the time here.
She's in charge for it for
The
the
Zoom
United
people
States.
cannot hear you. I'm at home a lot of times. All I hear is rah, 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 rah.
Okay, I'll do the And she also was the president of the United States part of that after 3 years.
Yeah, sort of. I was part of a team. I was part of a team nationally appointed by the UUA to develop a collaborative ministry model that is being used within UU congregations nationally and maybe worldwide as well, that encourage and continues to encourage collaboration between program staff, the staff that help to provide worship and other ministry. So we work together to become more than the sum of our parts, right? Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure you knew that she did something awesome that she didn't tell anybody else about, except me, who had to do it every day.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, cool. I'm going to hear you in worship.
Perry.
Hey, Perry.
Hi, Sarah. I wasn't scheduled to speak.
Come on up here, Perry. You should all know Perry. Perry, no offense, Perry, he didn't get included in the schedule because they had 45 minutes. So that's why we had to
So
go
I'll go
quick.
really fast. I just wanted to introduce myself. If I haven't met you, I'm the Food and Fellowship Coordinator. UUCD had, I understand, a long history of food and fellowship, and it kind of went away. And so I would like to say thank you to the board and the congregation for deciding that that was something we wanted to bring back. This is my 9th month. I can honestly say, not in keep. If anyone's interested in volunteering or knowing more about what we do or has questions about food and fellowship, please get a hold of me. Kathy can give you my information. But I do believe food and fellowship is one of the best ways to support community and to bring community together. And part of the mission the board sort of tasked me with was to try to find ways to bring more of that in and potentially more people in. So I hope to be doing that until you wheel me out.
Well, you've met all of these wonderful people who are really kind of behind the scenes, paddling away under the water. It looks so calm and collected on top. But they really are the people who make this, support the UUCD and create the framework within which everyone can experience UUism here at UUCD. Now, we have a welcome new member ceremony coming up on May 3rd. And we do this to introduce people who've chosen to move from being a congregant of UUCD to being a member of UUCD, to introduce them to the congregation and also to let them meet their fellow UUCD members. Because membership doesn't mean just coming to services or volunteering, which is all appreciated. Membership also doesn't even really mean just putting some money in the plate every Sunday. We have a bylaw that establishes what membership is, and you need to officially sign the membership register, and you have to make a, quote, identifiable congregation to UUCD on a annual basis. We use that language because we know that not everyone has a budget that allows them to give of their treasure, but perhaps they have a lifestyle that allows them to give of their time. And so they give of their time, not their treasure. Some people have no time, but then prefer to give of their treasure. We love your treasure. Let's just put it out there. And then some of us, we give of our time and we give of our treasure. But this is why, you know, if you're giving of your treasure but not of your time, we prefer you to put it on a pledge form, even if you put the cash in the basket, so that when poor Kathy and the secretary of the board have to create the membership list for the annual meeting, we know who our members are. So if you're here, if you're giving of your time just by showing up, if you're giving of your treasure by putting money in the basket, why not become a member, an official member of UUCD? Because then you can come to the annual meeting, you get to vote. You have a say-so in what we do. I'm always like, hey, if I'm getting taxed, I'm voting, you know? So this is an invitation for all of our congregants who haven't yet chose membership to talk to membership committee. Got Tim Wilson here, got Molly Benson here, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have of becoming a member and participating in the Welcome New Member ceremony on May
3rd. All right. Yes, Kathy.
I would just like to say, Perry's being talked to right now, but this is about you, Perry. He has brought in some people into the kitchen. I'm fixing to say how wonderful Perry is. I just want him to hear it.
Yes, I'm telling him that.
Oh, it's echoing around the room then. Okay, thank you. Anyway, one of the most incredible steps Perry has taken is to bring more people into the kitchen, thus into our lives. Maddie, a junior or a senior, do we know?
No, Junior.
Junior, she is a junior. She has taken over that kitchen like the world was meant for her to be there. And
Maybe it was.
well, I think so.
Chef school is in her future.
Yeah, and she brings her younger sisters, her mom, other family members. She has made an incredible difference, and she isn't afraid to work. Perry brought that to us, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. We need young people in this building. Yes.
Because I care about the people at home, I'm right here, because this is usually me. Just a quick announcement in case you don't know, we're having a big, hopefully a lasagna? We're having a dinner on Friday night, and is typical, Saturday, sorry about that, Saturday, yep, it's Saturday night, and as is typical of Unitarians, you mostly have not yet signed up. Because you're really good about doing stuff, but you don't want to make a commitment, ahead of time. So we have a sign up at our pledge table today, and you can also sign up online, and we hope to see all of you. We're going to have music. I wrote a blues song that you get to hear, and the choir might sing a little something, and there's good food, and it's going to be great. So, yeah, that's on Saturday night. Thank you.
5 to 7 p.m.